Passing Energy with your host, Pri. When this milk starts yapping, that's it. And that's it. Prepare to be enlightened and entertained. And that's it. Hey guys, Priest here along with Sky again with part 2 of Encanto. Now, this is going to be interesting. If you see the title of this episode, we're going to be talking about something very controversial. And I'm not afraid to do that. That's what I live for. But first, guys, you know the drill. I gotta say it because sometimes y'all forget. Well, most of the time y'all forget. Please like, share, subscribe to the YouTube. If you're there, share with your friends. Let them know. Put them on Learning Wednesday and Passing Energy and Whole. The Instagram, you got it. TikTok, guys, we need the love. It is free. It's free to do that. So come on. And if you're on any podcast streaming services, guys, please rate the podcast. That would help us a lot. Don't be stingy. Share the love. Don't just be here listening, holding us hostage. So thank you. It's all love. Like I said, it's going to be very controversial. So please, your opinions matter. If you have a different take or you want to dive deeper and give a different outlook, that would be great also. So put it in the comment section. That's why it's there, guy, to give your opinion. Thank you. If y'all listen to the first podcast we did with Encanto, we talked about the Encanto and how it represents different skin tones. The melanin was popping. It was beautifully displayed. When I scroll into TikTok, my TikTok full of Encanto. I came on a part where some big TikTokers, doing comparisons and saying that, okay, Encanto is beautiful. So now can Black people get that type of treatment? And they use the example like, oh, the Princess and the Frog and how Tiana was a frog most of the movie. And then how the Lion King, they were animals throughout the movie because Lion King is based in Africa. They say, oh, it's just a bunch of animals. There was no Black people displayed. I see their point. My thing is this, and I'm going to ask this question, throw this hot potato in Sky's hand.
Okay, hot potato.
Yes, the hot potato. I got to throw in your hand. Black people seeking Disney and other major publications to create film for them properly, as they did for Encanto. Do you think we need to keep at Disney's foot saying, do right by us, or you think we should focus more energy on producing the things we want to see?
It's like a dependable question. You know, it's more like, what is it that they're looking for when you're saying that? Like, when you ask Disney now a movie about, say, Black people, what are you talking about? What are you looking for?
I think they want a movie that has Black people as the forefront, the main characters. Like I said, the example when they had the first Disney princess, but she was the frog most of the video. I mean, the movie. And the Lion King, which is based in Africa, all the Black voice actors and singers, they were animals. So it's like, when are we going to get a film that shows Black people 24/7 without them having to be transformed to animal to be relatable? So should they continue to basically protest or voice their opinion? Well, not voice their opinion. I feel you should still say something to call out people's lack of representation, but I don't think that should be your main focus point. Your main focus point is seeing how you could create yourself. You know?
I think I'll give like a couple opinions on it. I think one, if you really think about it, I guess Disney kind of did do an all-Black movie. You know, Black Panther. That's owned by Marvel, and that's
they animated Disney. Though. That's the first one though. But they talk about animated film. That's why they use The Princess and the Frog and The Lion King. Even Soul, they had a Black man, but the Black man was the Soul most of the movie. You know?
No,
was he not?
Because I mean, in the end of the day, he was also his body was still walking around, and they depicted that for half the movie as well.
But what's the main focal point of his soul version?
It was the focal point of the movie was just enjoying life,
Mm-hmm.
and doing so, they basically used this man's life as a way to showcase what it is to enjoy life, and they depicted all types of black people in the film. Now, mind
Mm-hmm.
you, I could understand you want 24/7. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I would argue that they're getting to that point. You know, no, it's not there automatically, and I would say that at the moment, what Disney's doing is, they already have a black audience.
Mm-hmm.
I would say they already have one because of how much they put into it. No, there's not a lot of 24/7, but they have they're trying to appeal to other cultures now. They're trying to suck them in. So that's why you had Moana. So you had the Hawaiians, because Hawaiians are rarely represented themselves as well.
Right.
Now you have the Colombians, the Colombianos.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully I'm saying it right. But then you have this movie, right? So you have Encanto, which is now for the Colombian people, which
Mm-hmm.
is another target audience of culture that has not been represented fully. So I would say, first off, take a step back and realize what it is Disney is doing, and realize that a lot of times, yeah, you notice that a lot of black people want a lot of representation through media.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I feel like, and I know it's not like all black people, obviously, but the certain section that keep asking for more, what do you call it, presence in social media. I don't think they're really looking at the bigger picture, that there are other people who are underrepresented within the
That's
world.
true. Which we
You know,
want. I'll get in that later on. Just want to pinpoint something about Souls. Now, I've never watched Souls, so which I think I should watch it before I give
it's a
my
pretty good,
opinion
it's a very
because
good
I was just.
movie.
I heard it was really good, and I heard that the person who inherited his body was white. I know what Souls.
They
I
don't know
can't
that.
say that.
They don't know
Hmm?
that. That's assumptions just because you heard the woman's voice and the actor is white. But that doesn't mean that the character was white. If the character
Yeah,
is a
but they
soul,
look at
it
all
has
those
no.
details. But they look at all those
That's
details.
personally, I find that dumb. I feel like people who keep stretching, I find it dumb if you keep stretching towards things just to be like, yeah, just because I hear this person's voice, that's
Hmm.
it. That's the culture. And it's like, obviously, there are other people talk differently. Don't assume. And if the movie is based off of Soul, which has no orientation at all,
Hmm.
don't try and stretch and try and like break down what the movie's true purpose is. It's kind of
I
disappointing in
think
that
I mean
sense.
they going back to the fact where it. I'm sorry, that's what
Yeah, but
like
if she
I
was
said.
inside,
Wait. This is gonna be very controversial. That's why I said y'all brace yourself because my opinion is gonna be very not PC, aka politically correct. So just brace yourself because y'all I know cancel culture just be waiting there on shift, waiting for someone to slip up. This where I think that the black community could be very biased when it comes to the fact that black people could play different roles. Even in anime, you have different characters you thought were playing by a white character, and when you actually look at the voice actor, it was a black guy.
hmm
So and it could vice versa. When black people play voices of non-black characters, it's fine. But when other people do, even though I understand it's an abundance where white people always do it, but it's like gotta be fair still, you know what I mean? I don't know, but I think in that situation, they was trying to look at the fact that okay, why you couldn't put a black actress to play or actor to play in his body while he's a soul. So it is like you said, it's a stretch. But I want just want to point out why one a couple of issues. I never watched Soul, so I just I don't really have a dog in that fight when it comes to
hmm,
Soul issue.
hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Now,
say
go ahead. Go ahead.
overall that she's inside his body and
Mm-hmm.
he's right there following her within his body. So
Mm-hmm.
technically, you see him most of the movie. Like half of the movie, you see him walking
Yeah,
around
but they
in
say
the
half a
real
movie is a
world.
soul though. He's not actually in his black body.
Yeah, because you got to introduce the character, and then you could bring them back down to the real world, and then that's when he's trying to get her to switch with him and all of that. So then the other half of the movie is nothing but black characters.
Hmm. Well, like I said, I didn't watch it, so I don't want
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We don't have to
to.
dive into it deeply, but that's
Yeah,
just my
yeah,
say on it.
yeah. So, yeah, like I said earlier, I think that as the black community, we need to focus on creating stuff we want to see. And I remember someone in my comment section, because I did talk about this. I stitched the guy who was talking about, when are we going to get this? He didn't say it in a bad way. He's looked very stoked and happy of the possibility of getting a all black version movie, like Encanto version of all black. You know, Encanto have black characters in it,
Mhm.
but he said all black, focus on black culture, whatever. And he's very excited when he said it. He didn't say it in a negative way, but I'm like, I said, why this platform you have is amazing that you have like, I think of like 400 something thousand people following, and he got 100,000 likes on a lot of his videos. I'm like, this platform that you have and other big influencers have, why don't y'all do that? Use it to talk about the small people who are trying to create the stuff you want to see. It's easy to look at the big labels and pull on them and say, hey, do stuff for me, do stuff for me. It's more hard, it's more tedious to look for content creators. Like, let's even put you, Sky, out there. You try and do animation, gaming, whatever. People like you come out of school and say, I want a chance. But everyone focus on Disney and Pixar. There's like, we could bring the community together. They're talented people of color here sitting on their hands, looking for y'all to acknowledge them, but y'all rather talk about Disney. Yes, you
Ironically,
could bring awareness. Yes, you could bring awareness to Disney lack of whatever y'all think they're lacking, but give a balance of you highlighting these other creators like Black Sun and
yeah, I was just
different.
going to talk about that. They've
Yeah,
made it into 3D now.
yeah, Shark Tank, right?
They're making it
Yeah, I think
3D.
that's really
I was
great.
like, oh wow, that's a big step. That's pretty good.
Yeah, the Shark Tank with Kevin Hart. I like Shark Tank. I love Shark Tank actually, and I gotta speak that existence. One of these days, have the creators of Black Sun on this podcast. That would be great. Projecting out there. But yeah, Black Sounds, what they did, they said, they're not portraying Egypt like how Egypt was in the original before the Europeans invaded and they mixed and then they created this whole new hue in Egypt. But the originated people of Egypt were black, fully black people. He said, okay, since Hollywood keep producing these white people as Egyptians, okay, let me do it. I'm not gonna wait on Hollywood no more. I'm gonna do it myself. But no, y'all don't focus on Disney. So I'm just trying to say is that that's so counterproductive when y'all use your huge platform to talk about white people 24/7.
Hmm.
Use it to talk about black people. Use it. So what you think so far about Black Sign? Because let's talk about Black Sign for a second. About how they want to Shark Tank, whatever. Do you think
Oh, I'm
that
not as deep into it as you may think.
what Black Sign?
Don't mind me. I just literally just saw them making it 3D. I don't know anything much more after that point, so I can't
Well,
really talk about it.
okay, well, I watched a few of Black Stein's clips on YouTube. He have a storybook on YouTube, but I follow a couple episodes. Really good, actually. You should watch it whenever you got free time. Seeing him, like I said, on the Shark Tank, I said, this is amazing. This is a black person taking his power in his own hands and doing what he wants to do. Yes, he did got a white investor. Nothing's wrong with getting investors, but it's like, come on. Now, do you even think that the black community or black people is Disney target audience?
To be honest, I think everyone's a target audience.
Mm.
I can't even you can't necessarily slap in race in this one,
Companies do have target
because
audience
this
now.
is
Don't
more
don't
so.
assume that now.
I feel like because this is more so Disney is more so for Westerners. Mind you, they're worldwide,
Hmm.
but it seems like the ones who complain really are Westerners.
Yeah.
People in the Western Hemisphere. So, uh, I mean, once they add their whole what do you call it diversity thing, People don't complain apparently until you don't complain until you're too used to it. Then you have to find another reason to complain.
Right.
So that's kind of the trope that's going on. You finally get your diversity. You give it a couple years, it's not enough anymore. You're gonna need more. You're gonna need to find other things.
Yeah, exactly. Come on. But the reason why I said target audience is because mine now they don't mind taking your money. But I remember the common thing that was always talked about in Hollywood is the fact that black films are not sellable. Why is it not sellable if black people is one of your target audience? That's what I'm trying to say. Their target audience is white people. That's who their target audience is. Now,
I
not to
think
say,
I
hold on,
mean,
wait. Let me finish my thought.
yeah, yeah,
Finish my
finish.
thought. Let me finish my thought. Their target audience, their main target audience, not saying that they're accepting no money from no other people. Their main target audience is white people. That is their main target. Because at the end of the day, that's the people they look like you, who look like them. The one who in the corporate office, the management, the CEO, everyone, they are white. They look like them. So your target also always be the people that looks like you. Like it or not, black people, when black people make content, they make it for people who look like them. See, that's an unpopular opinion. We won't always feel like we're included. We don't have to be always included in everything. It's fine if someone say my target audience is white people. It's fine to say that. Everything also sensitive. You shouldn't say that. What's No, their target audience is white people. Now, when they realize that, oh, more black people sound like our stuff. Okay, well, let's put a couple black characters in here. Okay, let's make 1 or 2 black films and see what works. I'm telling you, their common thing is always saying that black films, black TV shows are not sellable. That's why they don't do like that. But shows like That's So Raven and everything else, they broke a lot of Disney expectation. That's So Raven actually went longer than most TV shows Disney ever had because it did so well. But they're always afraid that their main target audience, black people, is not the majority in America. Like it or not, their main dollars are coming from white people. Black people, like what, 10%? 10% of that, and they're getting more money from white people. You have to realize that. Everyone's so sensitive. Just like rappers, when rappers saying N word this, N word that, their main target audience is white people. That's where they're getting their money from. When you look at that crowd of people, you see a sea of white people. Because black people's only so much. That's when this is a little off topic and go right back to topic. When black people complain about, oh, y'all can't say the N word, I try to feel y'all gatekeeping, which I don't believe white people should say the N word myself. But y'all gatekeeping a song that these artists who's selling it to the white person isn't even saying nothing about it. You see these Nicki Minaj and Doja Cat, you see them saying, oh, white people don't say the N word. You think they're stupid? They know where their money is. So I'm just trying to say is that Disney knows who their money train is. They don't want to produce a film. Let's say everyone in the black community could watch it. They still lose a lot of money if no white person watch it. When Beyonce did The Gift for Disney, the soundtrack, that was Beyonce's lowest selling album to date. Because you know why? Beyonce was talking about black pride and black beauty and all that kind of stuff. They didn't relate to it. So when we going to start being sensitive and realize it is what it is? We go where the money is. And that's what Disney going. Disney going where the money is. And what you have to do is you have to create film, black community. You create film and show that it is sellable. It's a money thing. And sprinkle a little bit of oppression, but mostly money. That's why I believe, and I could be wrong because I'm not in Disney meetings, but just knowing how the industry works, what I've seen so far, doing my little bootleg research, they have target audience. Who are you targeting? I'm targeting young people. Who are you targeting? I'm targeting white teens. I'm
Yeah.
targeting black teens. You have a target audience. And Disney number one target audience is white people. Everyone else come down the ladder. That's just what it is. And what you see what the Asians did? The Asians created anime. The Chinese created their own version of anime. Because you know what? They want representation. They did themselves. They didn't wait for white America to do stuff for that. I want to represent Japan. I'm not gonna wait for Americans to make a TV shows about Japanese. I gonna do it myself. Chinese people, Chinese say, you know what? We realize that a lot of these anime films, Asian films, always based in Japan. We need to create stuff that has Chinese culture in the animation. So they did themselves. Black people, we are talented and we are brilliant. Do it yourself. Yes, talk about the unfairness, but focus your more energy on solutions. Do it yourself. Why we want pity? Why would you want something out of pity? Oh, fine. Since you keep crying about it. I want someone to do something for me, Sky, because they want to do it, not because they were socially obligated to and socially pressured to do it. I don't take sloppy seconds. I wasn't even part of your list. That's just ridiculous to me. That's just ridiculous to me. When I said the Asian created to represent their people, and as a half Asian yourself, what do you think?
Well, I mean, to be honest, there are people doing it. They're just not out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, like Black Sand obviously is something already known about, but there's plenty of people animating out there. It's just that they're not a big name title, you know.
But yeah, but my thing is that in abundance, it's a fact that they're not crying as much. And I mean diminish the struggle of the black community or whatever, but they're not complaining about representation as much as black people are. Instead, they just want to create themselves when it comes to their movies. Even I mean, Africans, they make their own movies, African films, whatever, which is really kind of good if you actually take the time to look at it, watch it. They doing it themselves. So I'm just saying that why can't we do it ourselves in abundance? Like, stop waiting on our saviors. Like, we are brilliant. We're a brilliant
Well, I
race of
think
people.
I mean, then again, you got to take in consideration time. Like they
Mhm.
did it around the time Disney started doing their movies, so they
Who?
basically, let's say Japan, they basically like Astro Boy's design was based off of rubber hose animations of how their characters look like Mickey Mouse, and but over time they grew their animation company, and it was because of war that their animation company grew so much. So sadly, because of war, they actually got better at their animations, and then things just get growing and growing, and then because they used animations as a form to get to the public, they
Mhm.
used it as a way to spread knowledge of war, you know. So yeah, they have it, but they had it due to different reasons. They didn't have it because they wanted to be like them. They had it because they mimicked, I guess, America's animation, and from
Nothing's wrong with
there,
doing. Nothing wrong with
yeah,
doing that.
yeah.
Because everyone have a starting point. If you see animation at a certain point, and you like, even when it comes to like black content creators who create when they draw or whatever, they make black versions of these Asian characters. Eventually we'll get in a moment where we could create characters that more favor our features. But everything have a starting point. That's not the problem. At least you start. My whole point is that no one wants to invest in a starting point. Everyone wants a finished product. And you're looking for a Star Wars business like Disney and pumping in money to them, but instead of saying, let me give half of that to the black community, the black studios, so they can get up to a Disney level or even better than Disney, so we could stop having to look for social justice. Like, do it ourselves. You want food, you want to eat, you gotta learn how to fish.
The thing is, we are doing it ourselves. It's just like you said, it's not as invested, it's not as
Yeah, that's the
big,
problem.
but it's getting there. And I must say that it will take time, obviously.
It
uh,
takes time when we have more conversations like this. When we stop trying to fit in, we are our own standard. And that's one
Yeah,
thing I
I,
don't
I
like. One thing I don't like is the fact that when we get in the room, we haven't forgot where we came from. Like, okay, bye, black community. It was fun. We help make you popular. Then when you get that white fame, you end up forgetting where you came from, and all your friends and circle do not look like you no more. I just don't like that part. That's such a thing of movement.
it's kind of it's hard to say, but again, to me
Hmm.
personally, I feel like Disney will do it when they're ready, instead of, I don't want to say, hey, by me venting, you're gonna do it eventually, because that's a no go. Obviously, you
Hmm.
can see that after how many years. They're
Yeah.
gonna do it when they're ready. You do it when the time is right. You don't do it just because people want it. Yeah,
Right.
sometimes what you want isn't what you need. So at this point, you can say that them not giving it to us will encourage us rather
Yes.
than anything else. So I don't want to go against them by, you know, why haven't they made it yet? At the same time, they have to, everything Disney does technically is cultural appropriation. They have to dig up your culture, figure out what makes your culture tick, and try to represent it in the best way possible, which is kind
Right.
of hard given the fact that you have so many racial injustices inside the Western hemisphere. So you think that once you make, say, a movie on a black community during this time, you know it's kind of like, what are you doing, Disney? Are you doing this just because,
Right.
or so everything has reasons, everything
But you
has
know,
its moment.
the famous phrase is, "You're down if you do, you're down if you don't." That's why you need, like, I feel Disney have the budget to hire different
They always have the
groups.
budget,
Yeah, they have the budget to hire different sections. Say, okay, if we want to do more Latino content, okay, we can hire this whole section, the studio just focus on producing that. African Americans or Black community, we hired this set to do this, and yada yada yada. They have the budget to have different team dedicated to different stuff, but they're not doing it, and that's fine. I'm not going to cry about it. I'm not going to waste my time on people who intentionally is ignoring me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to seek the studios that want to do it and happy to do it. The same thing when black people are looking for characters in anime. It's like Japanese target audience is Asian people. That's who their target audience is, not you. It's nice the fact that you like our content, but our main target audience were Japanese. Then it became westernized. But our main content was for them. And there's
Most
nothing
issues.
wrong, and there's nothing wrong for Japanese studios to say that our main target audience were Asians. Nothing wrong with them saying that. I don't think nothing wrong, but this world becoming so sensitive that it's canceled to even say that. I just don't like that. I don't like that. But I just feel like, me personally, I feel like black people are too focused on racism and victimhood, which is hindering their growth as to being the powerful force we are destined to be. I'm not going to focus on what I don't have. I'm going to focus where I could get, where I'm going to be. I don't like where I'm at now, but I'm going to work towards getting where I need to be. And that needs to be the driving force. I'm not going to focus on these people. Eventually, they're going to see what I'm worth when I get there. Stop throwing the flag up. Me, look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm worth it, I'm worth it. If they don't see your work now, then screw them. That's my feelings about it. Screw them, okay? So, what do you think? Do you think that black people are too focused on racism and victimhood, which is kind of hindering their growth, or you have a different view on that?
Hmm. Hindering their growth due to hyper focusing on. Yeah, yes and no. I feel like, you know it's also like a trend to do that.
Hmm.
So I feel like if they hyper focus on it, fine. Is it hindering their growth? Yes and no.
Hmm.
it's hindering you as a person if you keep, if you focus on it negatively.
Yeah.
But if you focus on it positively, then it's fine and it will actually flourish for you. Like you will actually start doing things to prove them wrong,
Yeah.
you know?
I agree.
But if you just focus on it negatively, where you don't do nothing and you just want to say it just because you can, then I think that that's just a no go, you know, overall.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. So, in our conclusion, guys, this is my final thought. Is that I want to share a quote that my aunt taught me. Be the change you want to see. So if someone else is not doing it, then you do it. Or you start the movement to create it. Or invest in it. You don't want to be an artist, you don't want to be an author. You could do your job and search the internet, search the web for content creators who are trying to produce these stuff. There's a lot out there. Why are we waiting on other people to do it? You know what I mean? Create the content you want to see. I don't know why we always have to plead for people to do right by us, waiting on them to change. Why we sit on our hands and do nothing? Y'all, you know what? I'm mad at Disney. Why I'm still giving them money. But hey, 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 I'm a
Hmm.
black content creator. I just need $1,000 to get to buy my equipment. And oh no, 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 no. Disney. Hey, Pixar, could you make stuff for me? While Disney and Pixar filing their nails. Like, come on, we gotta do stuff, man. We have to change this whole outlook. I tired of us looking for handouts. The world's not fair. What we gonna do about it? Whine, complain that the world's not fair? Hell no, it's not fair. You know what I mean? I'm not giving these companies a pass. Stop wasting our time on that. What do you think?
No, I agree that I can understand, people like to vent. So I
Hmm.
won't take that away from them that they like to vent. But I agree that there are points where, a venting isn't enough. You should do things for yourself and not keep complaining because, no one likes a complainer, you know.
Venting and not even making step to change is a waste of breath, if you ask me. What's the point? If you're not even trying to change, what's the point of even talking about it? That's my whole thing.
I
No,
agree. It's
nothing's
just,
wrong with being fed up. The problem is the fact that you're not doing nothing to change the situation you are displeased with. And stop
just kind
saying
of
we don't have the
accepting
power.
it just to keep talking bad about it.
Exactly. We
Mm.
have the power. We just come together, and that's what the enemy don't want us to do. The black community actually working as a unit to fix themselves and better themselves. Damn. When we give Disney, Pixar, and all these huge publication competition, they'll be flooding for black content creators. Because you know why? That's where the money is. Be the change you want to see. Yes, I don't think we should not stop calling out injustice, but don't let that be our whole life. You know, don't let that distract us from improving ourselves to be more independent. That's all I want. I want us to be independent on having to wait for a white savior. Because that's what they like to say. They like to say, oh, in Black Panther, they had a white savior. But technically, aren't y'all looking for a white savior to make films for y'all? Like, what do y'all want? We're talented, we're smart, we're creative, we're unique. Our culture's unique, down to the American, to the West Indies, to Africa, to the black people that lived in Latin America, the Afro Latinos. We are multicultural people, but we're so focused on getting other people to represent us. Let's do that and let's save all that energy and actually build ourselves up to be a multi-million dollar company that can rival these companies. That's what I want us to do. and let these companies come to us and be like, hey, what's up? You know, and talk of collaboration. Be the change you want to see, guys. That's my final quote. That's my final words. Be the change you want to see. I don't know, Sky, you have anything else you want to say? Your final thoughts? Or
Final quotes. I'm not too good on these final things. I would just say, just don't let don't let something tear you down. Don't let don't hyper focus on negativity to tear you down, but use it as a way to come up with a solution. You know, if there's a problem and you see that it needs to be fixed, instead of just saying it needs to be fixed, maybe there's a solution that you can come up with that can help assist with it. Yeah, it's not easy to do it by yourself. Obviously you're going to need other people, and obviously it's a problem because it's hard for people to work together. But if everyone does it, then that means more people can work together. You know,
right.
so I guess that's my little thing tidbit.
I agree. I agree. So, like always, guys, what are your thoughts on this? I know it's a little controversial. That's the whole point of this episode. We have to have these tough conversations to help move the culture forward, not backwards, forward, not standing still, forward. And if you have a better solutions or better suggestion to me or Sky, we welcome it. Anything that's productive that can help us. That is the whole mission. That's my mission. To make us better, to make me better as I turn around and look in the mirror. To advance my thinking. I'm not gonna be a victim. I'm not gonna look at them. You don't like me, you don't like my complexion, you don't like what they're too doggone bad. I am blessed and highly favored in my melanin, in my dark skin, in my thick hair. Just like how you are highly favored in your complexion. That's your choice. Not everyone must like each other. I ain't forcing no one to like me. But be the change you want to see. Thanks again, guys, for tuning into Nerding Wednesday. Remember to follow our social links. Let us know what you think about today's episode. And until next time, guys, peace.